I basically started almost putting together business plans. I had all these wonderful ideas as to how it's going to change Bridgetown, how to make it the best school, not just in Athlone or Cape Town, but in South Africa. So I was thinking of ideas of how I could bring the full force of Old Mutual to bear down on Bridgetown, to just basically transform it completely. And when the first time I actually met with Andrew and actually sat down and spoke, I'm actually glad that I actually let him speak first, then I speak, because I probably would have overwhelmed him with all the ideas and things that we could do and how could change and transform Bridgetown. But the humbling thing about Andrew, and the first thing that I actually heard from him, just listening to him speak about his school and his learners, was his passion. His passion for his kids, the learners, his passion for his school, his just overall passion about education and just what he can do for his school in terms of how he can transform these learners, these young adults, in terms of what he can do for their futures and how he can actually take them from schooling to the next stage of their lives in the development.
We are not only a township school, but we are a school of excellence where we make it possible for our learners. And taking a school over, which was at that point in time an underperforming school, now you need to turn around that school or you need to switch that school so that people can see that this school is not a disadvantaged school, but with good management, something is possible. At one of the slides at the beginning, that learners entering at the first level, they don't finish at the top. So we need to make a change. And I said to my partner, we need to work on something. We need to work on self-esteem of our learners. We need to teach our learners, or we need to make it possible for them to get confidence in themselves, in what they are doing. And that is where we have started. Now, I know at that point in time, he was saying undercover, we can bring in more computers. And I said, no. There's so many phones nowadays. I'm not a very strong believer of that. Because you bring in computers for a year, 2-3 years down the line, it's outdated. And you don't have the means to sustain upgrading. So that is why we rather need to invest in the specific or in the learner itself, so that the learners can take something with them. And what we've done over the year, a music band, and before I get to that, I want to say what was the vision, or what was the objectives of the putting our music band together. The program propagates music as an alternative creating tool for the youth, as opposed to gangsterism, drugs and other self-destruct practices of popular gang culture. The program aims to expose the learners to a world outside Bridgetown High. We know that if you teach a child how to play an instrument, you teach him also how to concentrate. And that will filter down to his education.